Hey, hi all. Welcome to yet another video in the Azure Fundamental series. So in this video, I will quickly tell what is Azure Virtual Machines and how we can quickly create a virtual machine in the Azure portal. So an Azure Virtual Machines give you the flexibility of virtualization without having to buy and maintain the physical hardware that runs it. Uh, but however, you still need to maintain the virtual machine by performing tasks such as configuring, patching, and installing the software that runs on it. So here I am in my Azure portal. So I'm trying to create a Windows virtual machine now. So in the quickly access panel in the top, I have virtual machine option there. So I'm going to create by clicking here. So it is asking me to select three options. So I'm going with the first option. This is the one we mostly need, our actual virtual machines. So I have selected my subscription and the resource group I have created previously. This one, cloud migration develop, and the virtual machine name will be um, the same, cloud migration develop. So the virtual machine name is an identifier in your Azure account. Also, the same name will be used for your uh, instance name as well. Instance name in the sense uh, your host name or your OS name. So after so in your laptop or desktop, if you open the command prompt and type the command host name, you can see your computer name. So here the virtual machine name we are giving, it will be same as the instance or the uh, instance name, as well as the uh, machine or operating system name. So this name, the virtual machine name or the instance name which we are giving here, that cannot be changed once the instance is deployed, but the name of your host operating system, that can be changed after the deployment as well, uh, by going logging into your virtual machine. So that is about the virtual machine name, and the region I am selecting the default one is US. So there is some availability options, so I am just selecting the availability zone now. So basically what is this availability zone means, it's a physically different zones uh, within an Azure region. You can say it is like different data centers in an Azure region. So similar to that, there are virtual machine scale set. That means there are n number of virtual machines that act as a load balancer. So the also there is availability set. This availability set means by it is logically grouping the virtual machines. It is not physically separated. So the most suitable one is availability zone. It is actually physically separated data centers in an Azure region. So what is the benefit of using the availability zone means, helpful for any kind of data center failures. So basically what it will do is, if you select the availability zone, one or two availability zone, it will create a replica of your virtual machine in the secondary zone. So what happened in the failure of one primary data center, it will automatically switch your application traffic to the other data center. So basically, all time your VM will be replicated to a secondary region. So any kind of data center failures in the primary region, it will automatically switch it to your secondary region. So selecting the, so if you go to the available, if you select the availability zone and the security type, Okay, so the availability zone, and in the below you can select in how many zones you want to create. I'm just selecting the zone one. So this is by default ticked the zone one. So what happen is the replica of your virtual machine will be one. So in the case of one disaster data center failure, the traffic will be routed to the other region. So if you want to further increase the availability of your application, means you can tick more of your zone, more zones here, but it will uh, incur additional cost. How how many availability zones you choose? So here only one I am selecting, and security type. The security type, there are some that is standard trusted virtual machines and confidential virtual machines. This trusted virtual launch virtual machines, it will include the TPM module, not the module, but a virtual trusted platform module, TPM. So normally in the latest desktop or laptop, once you turn on your system, you can see that in your boot menu, some system will show that the TPM is enabled. Basically what it does is it will provide boot level security before going into the operating system login page. So that is one by TPM module. If your laptop or desktop is having TPM module, means if somebody stolen your laptop, and if they put remove your hard disk from your laptop and put that hard disk in some other laptop or desktop to boot, means it will not work. So that hard disk will only work in that particular system. So Azure is providing a similar kind of security feature here. It's called a virtual trusted platform module. So if you want, you can enable it. Otherwise, just select the standard. So next, the image. So the image I am going to choose is Windows 10 Pro version. Okay, the Windows 10 Pro version. The VM architecture 64 version I am selecting, because the other version is not available. It is available for Linux kind of operating system only. Next, if you want to make this virtual machine as a Azure Spot virtual machine. So what is meant by Azure Spot virtual machine? So in a data center, if there is free capacity available, Azure will provide you that free capacity, so that you can run any high workload in your virtual machine. So the problem here is it is not guaranteed. So whenever that uh, available resource is over, or Azure need that resource or capacity back, it will take that at that time, and your virtual machines will be evicted. So there are two options at that time. Either you can deallocate or delete it. So once Azure takes back the resources, available resource from that spot Azure virtual machine, either that virtual machine will be stopped or it will be deleted. So if you tick this option, you can select two options: either stop or deallocate when the resources are exhausted, or delete the VM. This is not suitable, not at all suitable for um, production environment, and I think it is not suitable for dev as well, because some developers or who are working on that VM, then suddenly Azure takes back that resource, means all the settings will be lost. Azure will give you a 30 seconds time to shut down your virtual machine. So it is not suitable for everyday use. It is just used for testing purpose. So that is your choice whether to select make this virtual machine as a spot VM or not. So in most cases you don't need the spot VM. Since I am just unticking this. Now the size define the how many CPUs and memory uh, Azure will allocate to your VM. So I'm just clicking the sizes available. It is loading the monthly cost as well. So for the demo purpose, I am just selecting 2 vCPU and 4 GB of RAM. This is actually this is not enough, but for the demo purpose, I am just selecting this, the B2S option. And enable hibernate. So this is actually a good things to know, uh, but in my subscription I have not registered this hibernate option. That's why this is hidden in my account. But for your account, if the hibernate is enabled, means you can tick this option. So what exactly it do is, when you hibernate your virtual machines, uh, it will save your current state of your machine from the memory to a hard disk and deallocate the virtual machines. So it is useful when you are no longer or not using the virtual machines. So at the time you can just hibernate your virtual machine, so that all the application states will be saved in a file in the C drive. And once you resume your virtual machine, these data will be again restored to your memory, and you can continue working. So you don't need to start every application from the beginning. Whatever application you have opened and opened in your machine, that will be saved at this in the same state. This will be a good option if you are not using your virtual machines for some time. That will save you a lot of cost. Now you need to give one administrator account username. So I am just giving cloud migration as the username and some good password. Let me give okay, I've given the password as well. Now the inbound port. So if you want to access your virtual machine via remote desktop, means you need to enable this RDP. Just keep the things like that. If you want other port protocol to be enabled, you can tick it here. Otherwise, just enable the default RDP protocol here. And I'm just not ticking the this option. Next, I'm going to disk. So if you want to encrypt your disk, means you can enable this option. For my subscription, I have not registered this encryption feature. That's why it is hidden for me. But if you want to encrypt your disk, means you can tick here, enable it in the subscription, and tick this option. And the OS disk size, I'm just selecting the default 127 GB OS size. The OS disk type, if you want if you are planning to deploy your virtual machine for a high input output operation task, or that kind of usage, means you need to go with the SSD. Otherwise you can just go with the hard disk HDD. If you use SSD, that will be costly, but comparatively this hard disk will be cheaper. So I'm just going with hard disk right now. So delete the VM. What it means, when once you delete a virtual machines, the disk associated with that VM won't get deleted. So Azure is asking whether to keep that disk separately, or once you delete a VM, all the other dependent disk will also to be removed. So I am just going to enable that, so that when once I am deleting the VM, the disk will also deleted. The problem, there is advantage and disadvantage. The main disadvantage is if you delete the VM and if you forget to delete the disk separately, uh, it will cost you. So once the monthly bill comes, only you will get aware that there are disks. So I'm just ticking this option so that it will get deleted along with the VM. The key management, you can just select the platform managed key. The ultra disk compatibility is also not required. This is only required for high input output task. For normal purpose, it is not required. Also, if there is you can see a data disk for my VM. So what is data disk? So in your laptop or desktop, um, once you purchase the laptop or desktop, there will be only one drive, that is the C drive. So after that, you will partition your drive and create multiple drives. The benefit of that is uh, if you store that in different disks, uh, if one of the disk is getting, one of the partition gets corrupted, or if the system is not booting also, you can retrieve the data in the other disk or other partition. So here, once you deploy your virtual machine, one default C drive only will get created and one temporary storage. So if you want to store some permanent data, means you need to attach some uh, additional hard disk. So if you can just click here, and the default will be 1 GB. Sorry, it's 1 TB. Um, and you can choose the size or the type as well, SSD or hard disk, what kind of, if you want to store some data. Otherwise, you don't need to add. If you want to store some permanent data on your virtual machine, choose attach this disk. Now I'm going to networking. The network, the virtual network I have already created, that is the one, and the subnet also I have already created. If you want to know how to create virtual network and subnet, means I have created another video in the playlist, you can watch that. And the public IP will be needed if you want to access the virtual machine via RDP over internet. There is one more way to access virtual machine via browser, that is called Bastion, but I am not going to show that thing in this video, that I will show in some other video. So the NIC network group you can keep at basic. Inbound port you can just enable the default one. So this option also you can keep it enabled. So if you delete the VM, the NIC and the public IP that created along with the VM won't get deleted. So that will again cost you some amount. So it is better to tick this option. It will delete the public IP and the other resources along with the VM deletion. So load balancing option, there are two options, Azure load balance and the application gateway. I am not creating this VM for load balancing purpose, hence I am not selecting any of this option. So this will incur additional cost. So I'm just clicking the none option here, load balance. This accelerator networking also not needed. This is needed for very low latency purposes. For normal purpose, you don't need this accelerator networking. Next, I'm going to management. These are some additional security features which Azure provide. These are optional, uh, but I don't need that. I'm just unticking it. So enabling the system assigned managed identity. This is what basically uh, the purpose of this system assigned managed identity is. Suppose you are planning to host some application in your virtual machine, and that application is having some secret values that you are going to store in some key vault. Okay. Also, that application is connected to some SQL databases that is outside the VM, but inside the inside your Azure account. So basically, what this system assigned manager identity will do is, it will create one identity that you can add it in the key vault or SQL databases role-based access control. You can give that identity an access to your key vault or the SQL database, so that you don't need to create any other um, permission to access the key vault. This is only required for such scenarios. This identity, it is a string value. That identity can be added to the access control list of that particular resource, either SQL or key vault. But for demo, I am not going to host any application in the VM, so I'm not going to tick this. So next is login with the Microsoft Entra ID. So this one is you remember in the previous step, we have given one administrator login name and password to login to your VM. But along with that, if you want your Azure portal direct login name, use email address and password as a login. That for that purpose you can give this tick option. So you are using your email account and the password which you have used to log into your Azure account. The same account can be used to log into your virtual machine as well. So there are some other steps needed for enabling that one, but I am not going to enable this option right now. So enable auto shutdown. So if you want your system to shut down automatically to save some cost, means you can enable this auto shutdown. For example, in every night you want to shut down your VM, and that means if you are not using that VM in the night, you can shut down. You can tick this option that will automatically shut down your VM in the night timings. So enable backup. So if you want to enable backup, you can enable this backup option. Enable disaster recovery. That is also required for production use. This backup and site recovery you need to enable for production virtual machine, but for demo I am not enabling this option. The enable hot patch, it is also a good thing for production environment. And patch orchestration option, this option I have selected, automatic by Windows automatic update. So that's it. Next, monitoring. If you want any alert to be triggered from your VM, you can tick this option. And boot diagnostic, I'm not I don't need this boot diagnostic since I'm just disabling it. I don't need the OS guest diagnostics as well, so I don't enabling that option. These are optional. If you want more control over your VM, you can of course enable these options. And also the health, enabling application health monitoring, that also I don't need right now. Go into advanced option. So there are certain things you can install along with your VM creation. If you want some script to be run inside your VM after your VM creation, that script you can upload it here. And also if you want some extensions to be installed in your VM after your VM deployment, that extension you can select here, like an antivirus. So along with your Windows deployment, if you want to install some antivirus software, means you can upload that extension here. Also, if you want to run some script post deployment, means you can upload this deployment that script here. And Azure will run that script post the deployment. This is all about that thing. The performance NVMe. This, if you want high performance in your disk, means you can enable this NVMe disk management option. But for low performance or normal operation, this is not it. This is for high IO operations in your hard disk. The host group also you can keep it as empty. Capacity reservation also not needed for normal scenarios. You can keep it as none. So next I am going to tags, selecting the tag as environment and the value will be development. Next going to review plus create. So I show the validation failed. Let me check what is missing. So it is asking me to take this option. Okay, let me take. Now going to review plus create. So the validation is successful. Now I can create the virtual machine. So the deployment is successful. Now I am going to the resource. So the migration virtual machine is created. Here you can see the public IP address. So how to connect to this virtual machine? So I am going to connect. Click on connect here, and first option, connect. So here you can see the download RDP file. So the file is downloaded. So I'm just clicking on the RDP file. So the RDP file by default contains the IP address of my virtual machine. So I'm just clicking on the connect. So it's asking me the password. I'm going to type the password. Click on OK. So yes, we are inside the virtual machine. So this is how you can create a virtual machine. The steps will be almost similar for Linux virtual machine as well. So there is one more method for accessing the virtual machine via Bastion. Here we have downloaded the RDP file. It's not secure for production use. The Bastion way is a more secure way to access your VM, but currently it is not configured. I will show you how you can configure the Bastion service and access your VM via Bastion in another video. So for now, thanks for watching the video. Stay tuned for the next video. Thank you.